one point could be stacked up with hundreds of fish and you go 50 yards one direction or the other and it's crickets.
Yeah.
So it's really important to always be on the move in the fall until you run into them, because typically when you find one or two fish, that means you probably found 100. Welcome to the Level Up Fishing Podcast, hosted by our team at GSO Fishing.
In every episode, we aim to inspire anglers with tips, tactics, techniques, and strategies you can use in conventional freshwater fishing. Whether it's purchasing new tackle, chasing freshwater predators, testing different techniques through the ice, or boating do's and don'ts, we cover it all in these episodes.
Learn from our team, which has been in the fishing retail industry for over 2 decades, has run a year-round fishing guide service since 2006, and we also manufacture our own line of premium tackle. More importantly, we are anglers and understand just how challenging it can be to learn and level up in this sport.
We are here to break stereotypes and support anglers where you're at, all while challenging you to level up your fishing skills. Can you believe it? We officially have a Level Up podcast intro. Dun, 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 dun. We're so excited.
That is our first rendition of the intro. We may come up with a new one in the future, but we're really excited to have that done.
It took way longer than it probably should have because I overthought the heck out of that intro. I was trying to make it in Adobe Audition, and I do not know how to use that program. I know how to use a lot of the other ones, but that one is like Greek. And I overthought it, but luckily our daughter helped me simplify it. And we officially got our first one.
So yes, welcome to the Level Up Fishing Podcast, episode number 10.
Number 10. This podcast has been 2 years in the making, and man, we've had so much stuff going on that we couldn't ever pull the trigger and really get it going, and it's officially here, and we're on number 10. How exciting is that?
And hopefully we'll have 1,000 more to bring to you.
We're so stoked. So on this podcast, we are officially announcing that we are starting the Real Talk Level Up podcast angler interviews.
Yeah, we're going to keep this Level Up podcast going to bring you, industry trends, techniques, and a lot of the other info that you've heard. We're going to keep expanding on all of that, but what we wanted to do was be able to sit down and interview anglers and really learn what their story is and just kind of grow our community of anglers together. We really want to hear your stories and what fishing means to you and things that you can maybe give other anglers to go forward with for tips and tactics and things like that. So it's another branch off of something that we're really excited to start.
We have been blessed to meet so many anglers in the industry and heck, even on the boat dock throughout our entire career, and just hearing the stories of how they got started or techniques they love to do or all the things, because there are so many different types of anglers out there. We're super, super excited to start interviewing them and sharing stories with everyone. So Andy and I both will be interviewing different anglers across the industry and across the nation. But on an exciting note, the very first interview is me interviewing Mr. Andy Cochran, and I'm super stoked about that.
I'm always up for being the guinea pig on a new project, so bear with me as I go through the interview, but we're really looking forward to really expanding everything that we know through the interview process. It's actually going to be really fun.
It is going to be so much fun. So before we end today, we are trying to make it to that every episode is impactful and helpful to anglers. So let's leave them with one tip. What is one tip you can think of for fall fishing?
So with fall fishing, I think it's really important to cover water. I think the main thing is, and we talked about this in the past, about not fishing the spot, but fishing the pattern. And really, fall is the hardest time to really develop a pattern because oftentimes fish are very, very scattered. So the biggest thing in fishing in the fall that we really encourage you to do is go ahead and start on your spot if you have one, but don't get discouraged about if the fish really aren't there, because they can easily be moving around a lot. What we've seen just in the last couple weeks on our home water is, one point could be stacked up with hundreds of fish, and you go 50 yards one direction or the other, and it's crickets.
Yeah.
So it's really important to always be on the move in the fall until you run into them, because typically when you find one or two fish, that means you probably found 100. So keep moving.
And that, when we say cover water, that can mean from the shoreline, from your kayak, from your belly boat, from your actual boat, whatever you have access to, use that and keep moving.
And, go out with your confidence baits. In the fall, normally the majority of predator fish are going after some kind of bait fish for the most part. It could be baby trout, baby salmon, baby perch, or shad, etc., etc. So typically we're using some kind of minnow imitating presentation. That's kind of our go-to lure selection in the fall. So we'll tie a couple rods up with maybe our finesse jig and a jerk bait or something, like a couple different styles of minnow imitators, and then we just go and just start covering water like crazy until we start getting bites, and then you can settle in and start fine-tuning the technique from there. But the main thing is use a minnow imitator and cover water.
So thank you so much for listening to our officially 10th episode of the Level Up Fishing Podcast.
And hopefully we will see you on the water.